that does it. You're all friggin' nerds. I think I'm better than Daniel Wilson. Frickin' liberal. Oh, Jesus. I'm Brad Jones. I drink shitty soda. I stole 2 beats plus. Oh, I just laid a giant masterpiece for all the Wikia users out there. Oh, my brother's wearing the other one, but it's dirty. Oh God, it's got bloodstains on it.
Okay, seriously, enough with the goddamn skit already. It's getting old.
Oh, come on, man. You never let me have my fun.
Also, that outfit looks horrible. Did you even bother looking in the mirror before you put that thing on? You don't even look like Max Headroom.
Have you seen the Max Headroom Incident? He's no better looking. He just has a stupid rubber mask. That's probably the only thing he has over me. Freaking brown blazer-wearing loser.
And you wonder why your fan base doesn't like these stupid skits. Just get the show started already.
Hello and welcome to the Lost Media Chronicles, a show of which talks about various lost movies, music, art, you name it. And today we're going to be talking about a scary one. See, it's Halloween and I'm dressing up as various characters based off of the topics I'll be talking about. And this week we're talking about the Max Headroom television hijackings. Ever since the days of broadcasting started, people have attempted several times to hijack television and radio signals in order to pull pranks or deliver a message. There's the famous Brilliant hijacking where a man pretended to be an alien, and the Captain Midnight incident where a man protested the price of HBO channels. But perhaps no television hijackings are as high profile as the Max Headroom incident. Our story begins on a beautiful night in Chicago. WGN-TV was doing its 9 o'clock news with Dan Roan covering the victory of the Chicago Bears over the Detroit Lions when an interruption began. We see a man wearing a rubber Max Headroom mask bobbing his head with no audio. For the unfamiliar, Max Headroom was a character used in some TV shows as well as ads for New Coke. He had a quirky personality that added an edge of humor to him. After a few seconds of this bizarre occurrence, we return to Dan Roan, completely flabbergasted. What happened is commonly known as signal broadcast intrusion. Someone had hijacked WGN-TV's signal, which is easier said than done. It takes knowledge in radio and television frequencies, not to mention high-tech equipment to pull this off. Whoever the perpetrators were, they were only able to hijack WGN's image signal. Hence, the hijacking was silenced. Luckily, WGN-TV were able to get control over their signal and resume programming. Now, if this is the only thing that had happened, it would have made for an interesting local news story, but that's probably about it. What happened next made this go from small local news story to absolutely legendary. Around 11:15 p.m. Central Time, the hijackers struck again, interrupting WTTW's broadcast of the Doctor Who episode Horror of Fang Rock. Not only did they successfully gain control over the audio signal, but they were able to maintain control and get their full message across for all 90 seconds. Employees at the station tried desperately to gain control, but failed, only being able to watch in horror and bafflement as Max continued his shenanigans. Throughout this broadcast, Max berates WGN, makes obscure references to shows and music, farts, and gets spanked by a woman in a French maid outfit holding a fly swatter. The next day, news broadcasts talked heavily of the events. Investigations were put in place, but even almost 30 years later, nobody knows who did it. Now, I won't bore you with a detailed analysis of what Max said, because there's already dozens of videos on YouTube that do exactly that. What I will do, however, is give my little 2 cents as to why these guys did what they did. People were concerned that what they saw had a message, either political or occultist. The truth is, these guys were just pulling an elaborate prank. It was purposefully nonsensical. Their goal was to waste your time and interrupt your evening. There is no deeper meaning behind this other than knuckleheads with too much time on their hands. Though I personally find what they did amusing, they did still interrupt the TV signal when people were just trying to sit down and enjoy their nightly programs. What they did is, at least in my opinion, unethical. Now, there is a tiny bit of lost media connected to these hijackings that has left people wondering. I'm talking about the audio for the first attempt at hijacking. It's a different video than the one we see later, and it's theorized that these hijackings were pre-recorded, not filmed live. This is evidenced by the sudden jump cut at the end of the second hijacking, with the mask removed and the same man being bent over with his buttocks showing. There's no feasible way this could have been done so quickly. Now, several people have come forth over the years, either claiming to be or to know the perpetrators behind this hijacking. There was a famous Ask Me Anything Reddit post from someone who had a clear and believable story regarding who he thought might have done it. 4 years later, the story was debunked, and the 2 people thought to be the perpetrators, nicknamed J and K, were ruled out as suspects. It's amazing how nobody has been able to find out who caused this infamous hijacking. Now, I also want to talk about another famous alleged hijacking that might help shed some light on why this is so sought after. In 2007, a mysterious video on YouTube appeared called the Wyoming Incident. It claimed that in November of 2006, a signal hijacking in rural Wyoming took place that contained disturbing images of decapitated heads, weird, oddly inspiring yet creepy text, and of course haunting music spiraling in the background. Allegedly, it caused people to either soil themselves or hallucinate. The full broadcast was released piecemeal over the following years. The full thing is so intense it can put the Max Headroom Incident to shame. An occultist forum called the Happy Cube claimed responsibility in that the hijackings held a secret meeting. The Happy Cube gained a rather large membership. Occultist rituals took place and people were told to perform in some rather honestly legitimately dangerous activities. If you do wish to seek out any of these forum posts, do be aware that you could risk doing severe psychological or physical harm to yourself if you try to do any of the things they tell you to do. After 4 years of activity, the admins of the forum came forward and said that the Wyoming incident was fake and it was just an elaborate prank pulled by the goons at something awful. Now, just as you'd expect, some of the people got downright pissed off, other people had a good laugh. But what happened with a good majority of the users actually shocked some of the goons themselves. Even after proving it was all fake, the followers of the Happy Cube refused to believe it. That's right, people were so religiously devoted to the message that they refused to believe the truth. This caused other members and admins of the forum to pull several reversals just to mess with the user base. It's insane just how far these people will go to convince themselves that this is real. Luckily, it seems to finally be winding down. But it goes to show you just how fascinated we are by television hijackings. What makes the Max Headroom Incident so special is that this is real and that the perpetrators were never and probably never will be caught. These hijackings interrupt our quiet evenings at home and in some bizarre way remind us that we're alive. And for some of us that makes us feel uncomfortable. But that's the beauty of it. These guys had a stupid, rather insane goal, but accomplished it nonetheless. And that's more than what can be said about a lot of other people. You have to give them props for that, even if it was illegal. We want to know what Max was saying for those few seconds we couldn't hear him. We are morbidly curious to see what other bizarre quips this man had for us. It's human nature. Join me next time when I talk about a classic children's picture book which had multiple failed animated adaptations. See you later. Hello guys, and thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw today, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video, especially if you want to see more just like this one. Also, be sure to check out my other show, Adventures in Vinyland, or else I'll send Max Headroom after you. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.